every year, new technologies, new capabilities, new possibilities to create better experiences for customers. I'm Martin Lürssen. I'm the CTO at Clevertar. I lead the development and maintenance of our technology platform. I've been with Clevertar for quite a while. I've been there since the very beginnings. In my previous life, I was a postdoctoral research fellow at Flinders Uni working on virtual humans, artificial intelligence. And Clevertar basically originates in that, taking the pie in the sky thinking down to earth and making it into a real product that people can use. The chatbot for ABS, as any chatbot in a business environment, is a supportive character. Okay, it's trying to help you. So it has to be positive. It has to be capable of assisting you as efficiently as possible. You want to have the ability to feel that somebody is looking out for you, even if it's a computer program. And we've tried to integrate it to reflect that in the conversation that the chatbot has with you. And that's also why the chatbot has a face. So you go, okay, this is maybe not a real person, but it has a face. There's a connection there. Maybe I should treat it like a real person, and maybe it will treat me like a human being as well. We all know that if we interact with businesses or computers, we often don't get to feel like real people. We just are a number in the system, and we want to go beyond that. Yeah, so we did quite a bit of modeling to work out how many people would actually use the chatbot, because the Census is a unique event in that most people will be using it over a very short time period. So we have targeted around 200 answers a second that the chatbot can give, which maps to around 2,000 users or new conversations a minute. But we're also capable of handling a lot more in case that should happen. For the most part, for most of the census, we expect significantly less volume. But there's always the possibility that people suddenly have a lot of questions because of some media event or some question being raised in the public, and then we expect traffic to be much, much higher. So we had to develop it for a huge range of possible traffic outcomes, and we've accommodated that in the specific design that we've come up with for the ABS. But basically what we do is if we receive too much traffic, we're buffering it, we're storing it to process it more slowly later on. And we have shifted quite a lot of the intelligence of the chatbot to your browser, the browser running on your computer. So, if there are 1 million people using it, well, we actually have 1 million computers doing the thinking, right? And that allows us to basically scale quite significantly into larger numbers. Of course, we all have to store that somewhere in a central place. And as I said, that's where we use a buffering approach, where we go, if we got too much, we just put it to the side and we process it as quickly as possible. Now, if we had, millions of people continuously using it at that rate over long time periods, we would have a problem. But there are only 20-something million Australians, so, we'll be fine. You can put something out there that's maybe not perfect, but you can then observe how people use it, and you can make it better over time, right? So when you interact with a chatbot that's not very good, and people probably didn't follow that approach, they probably didn't review how the chatbot behaved, whether it was good enough, and didn't make improvements. But look, with the Census, all of the traffic is basically in a really, really short time period. So, when you realize that, it's not working, well, it's too late, right? You have to wait another 5 years. So we had to make sure that all the things that can go wrong have been addressed, that the experience is really good right from the start, that we don't go, halfway through Census 9 and go, we could have done a better job. So it's different in that way from other deployments, and it's a bit more challenging because we just have to be more careful. Well, it's all about being able to engage your customers, and the ultimate definition of engagement is a conversation, right? If you want to engage someone, you engage them generally in a conversation. That's what we've done as humans for thousands of years. This is something that we're good at and that we respond to. Now, ideally, you can engage personally with every one of your customers, but you probably don't have enough employees. Employees want to occasionally sleep as well. They might get grumpy if they are being overworked. So what do you do? Well, chatbots are really the solution for that. They can take some of that load. They can deal with the conversations that don't require great effort, right? And if there is a question that the chatbot can't handle, well, it can work out based on its own questioning who the right person in an organization is who should actually answer that question. So the chatbot can assist your existing support staff to support the customers that you've got in a higher quality way. It's ultimately about producing a higher quality experience for everyone involved, the customers and your support people. And this kind of technology works wonderfully for that. The basic technology is always the same. The basic logic is around helping people, answering questions, dealing with the issues that these people have. And that's pretty consistent actually across businesses and organizations. Now, every organization has its own focus, own domain that they engage in, and there are unique aspects to that, and they have to be adapted for each chatbot. But we've done this for a few years now, and we've got a really good feeling of what works and what doesn't work, and we can use those patterns of behavior of the chatbot, of conversation, across different organizations and quite efficiently deploy chatbots that are just perfectly suited and targeted to the space that the organizational business is operating in. Yeah, well, look, chatbots are really an automated form of having text-based interactions. We text each other with texting apps, messaging apps quite a lot. And the good thing about text is it's pretty simple in many ways, right? It's text. There's only 26 letters in the alphabet. But there are other ways we interact, of course. We interact physically. We interact with our speech, with hearing, intonation, facial expressions, gestures like the gestures I'm doing right now. All of those things can actually enhance the conversation. It can create more engaging conversations and create conversations that have more impact on how you feel and how you think about a subject that's being discussed. And the technologies in that space, they are evolving as well, but we're not quite there yet. We haven't achieved the level where you go, oh, I can't distinguish whether that's a human or not, right? That's some time to come before we get there. But that means also that we've got a really exciting journey ahead of us of bringing those technologies in and making that experience better and better every year. New technologies, new capabilities, new possibilities to create better experiences for customers.